Welcome, Scorpio, to my temple, the Temple of Tarot, Astrology, and Yoga. You are now attending your Astro Tarot forecast, which includes a yoga pose and a yoga mudra designed to convey the energy of the reading through the body and through hand gestures. This is relevant to you if your sun sign, your moon sign, or your rising sign is Scorpio. And my rising sign is a cusp between Libra and Scorpio, though I tend to identify more with Scorpio. And some of you may be in the same position where you don't have the exact time of your birth. I went to a sort of forensic astrologer who deduced my rising sign, more or less. Before I begin your reading, I would like to tell you what's going on with the channel and with me. Many of you have been with me for years. I've been on YouTube for 10 years. And I suffered a crisis in the third year of my broadcasting on YouTube, on this channel. Not this channel, another channel. And that had to do with my partner with whom I had a disagreement. And so I consequently had to create my own channel. And I've had that for 10 years. And it was called Ava's Temple of Consciousness. But my latest crisis, which is brought about by the weather, I went through 2 hurricanes back to back in Florida, and they managed to take everything from me. My home, my work, even my pet. So I decided to come back to Hawaii, where I had lived for 18 years previous to moving to Florida for 15 years. And but Maui is a very expensive place to live. Not that this island, the Big Island, is that much better, but there are more options here. I chose to live off-grid just to be able to save a little money. And what it's given me more than that is privacy, solitude, peace, tranquility, which has allowed me to be very introspective. Not that I wasn't before, but there are no distractions out here. So, since I lost my ability to teach publicly in Sarasota, where I'd been teaching for 15 years, I've decided to teach online here on this channel, which is why I changed the name of the channel to include yoga and to give it as much prominence as the tarot and astrology. So now I have filled my yoga coffers with many, many yoga sessions. I teach, a variety of yoga styles, but the one I prefer is yin yoga. Yin yoga is a style of yoga that allows me to move and to create with the rhythm and the tempo and the inspiration of the music that's being played. So my instructions are minimal in the form of captions sometimes, if necessary, or in the form of a gong warning saying there's a change in body position. This allows a sort of continuous meditation when you watch and when you perform with me. So I have numerous sessions up, but because there's so many, and I want to create maybe one a day, one every other day, depending on the time permitted here. I sometimes have to go and do practical things here. I'm going to put the yoga poses and yoga sessions on Patreon, where I'll charge a fee of about $5 a month to view them, and they'll be there permanently. But when I create them, I'll let you watch them for free until I post them maybe a couple of weeks later or so. This way, I don't crowd this channel with too many yoga sessions, and I can garner a little income from it, a little support, financial support, because I realize that depending on donations exclusively is a difficult thing, difficult to ask for, and difficult for those of you who have viewed something for free. So that's my plan. Now, let's begin your reading, Scorpio. For those, again, who are new, what I do is I blend together, I join together tarot and astrology. And of course, I give a yoga pose and a yoga mudra at the end, because in my opinion, the tarot and astrology can contribute enormously to our understanding of ourselves and giving us a heads up as to what may be coming around the corner, around the bend. So it's important for you, therefore, to view your rising sign as well as your moon sign and your sun sign to give you a more complete narrative as to what you can expect. I've been reading all my life practically, 45 years, and astrology also I've been studying for a very, very long time. Yoga I've been teaching since I was 20, and I'm 73. And by the way, please don't be intimidated by the yoga sessions because, as I said, I've been teaching all my life without any pause or break in my practice. So there are some sessions that are less and more difficult. So, but give it a try. You'll be surprised as to what you can do and what your body is capable of. All right, so what I do is in the astrology section, I follow the transits of only two planets, Venus and Mars, because they spend a shorter amount of time in a particular sign, giving us more insight into the current events of the month. And this month for you, Scorpio, Venus is transiting your 8th house. It's in Gemini. And the 8th house is the house of death, sex, taxes, partnerships, shared resources, inheritance. It has a broad scope of meaning. Venus symbolizes peace and love and tranquility and balance and harmony. So when it transits a particular sector of the chart, it brings that that mood, that feeling, that energy into that sector. The 8th house is a house of Scorpio. It's ruled by your sign. So anything ruled by your sign brings an added dose of intensity to it, because Scorpio is an intense water sign. Water representing feelings, emotions. There are 3 water signs, and you are the most intense of all 3 of them: Cancer, Scorpio, and Pisces. And so it brings to the heart chakra these issues of partnership, sexuality, shared resources, death, and sex. So it brings the beauty, the longing for peace, balance, and harmony to your partnerships, to your sexual life, bringing it into a realm that is not purely sexual. Of course, everyone will experience this at their own level of relationship development. But it might help you to bring a relationship out of the merely physical into the realm of the spiritual. It is indicative of love, deep love, and many people, of course, will share love through sex. But sometimes sexuality can become a distraction from love. Ideally, when they're united, then the partnership is made more bonded, lasting, enduring. And so maybe you are able to take your partnerships to a new level of love and compassion. Maybe you're feeling more generous financially also towards your partner, or your ability to share your resources with your partner is easier, is something that you can agree upon, issues of finance more readily. Maybe there's contracts that can be signed that are beneficial to both parties here. Now, the house also deals with death. This is why I mentioned inheritance. And you may be moved in your heart by someone's death. Or you feel that you've lost something, because death signifies a change, a very dramatic change from what was to what will be. It's a symbol of metamorphosis of a situation, a circumstance, or a metamorphosis within you, a deep change that comes about through feeling a loss. And it brings compassion and love into your heart. That is what might be going on with the transit of Venus. Now, Mars is in Virgo and has been for a little while now. And it's transiting again, Virgo, all month. And Virgo, for you, is your 11th house. And the 11th house is the house of society, friends, community, and hopes and dreams, wishes. So when Mars, the planet of action, ambition, and drive, come into this sector, what you might experience is a added energetic infusion of passion into your immediate community or your friendships. Your friendships, you pursue friendships with a vigor, or friendships are invigorated, or groups of people with similar ideas, similar dispositions, or similar missions become energized as far as your involvement with them. The house is also about hopes, dreams, and wishes. And with Mars here, you have determination to meet your goals, your dreams, and to fulfill a deep, long-held dream. That might be something that you will experience this month, is a dream coming true. But that dream comes true not without effort. When you put the effort in, then you will see the results that will be very satisfying for your ambition, for your enthusiasm and drive. So the combination of these two planets, symbols, can be indicative of a very powerful month in which you experience a deepening of your relationships, either sexually or on a deep emotional level, where you may be going through a major transition, and that transition brings higher levels of spiritual awakening and appreciation for your partner, for even dealing with matters of inheritance, investments. Somehow you reap the rewards of what you've invested yourself into. And Mars only liberates you from the shackles of doubt, fear, and self-negation. It allows you to get out of your shell, mix with people, find the friends that resonate with you, and make your dreams come true in ways that are very powerful. So let's now move on to your tarot forecast. And thank you very much for your support, for your sweet messages. They help me because I live out here all by myself, completely alone with nature, and you're my only friends, really. You've become my only friends. I don't know anyone since I just moved here, but I would appreciate just dropping me a line saying, "Hi, Ava, how are you? Tell me a little bit about yourself," and we'll take it from there. So thank you for your support. And wait now for your tarot forecast. Welcome, Scorpio, to your tarot forecast for July 2025. Relevant to you again, if your sun sign, your moon sign, or your rising sign is Scorpio. Now, I have Scorpio rising, as I said, so it was a very relevant forecast as far as what's going on here at the edge of the universe, the very edge of the earth where I live now. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to give you a 4-card spread. As I said I don't know if I said it in this particular forecast, but I love simplicity. It's always more revelatory. I can see the significance of the symbols more easily if the spread is simple. So this only involves 4 cards. The first card represents the overall energy or mood of the month. The second is your challenge. The third will be the unexpected. And the fourth is the outcome. And I try to tie the information or the narrative coming out of this reading to the astrological forecast. Then it will be followed by the yoga pose and the yoga mudra, also energetically associated with these 2 readings. So here are my cards, and I have a giant deck so that I can show you the cards, but they're very difficult to shuffle. But I attempt to do so in front of you. And so I'm going to start, and as I'm shuffling, what I like to do is I like to think about you, Scorpio. Scorpio is a very, very fascinating sign. Scorpios are like elephants. They never forget. They never forget when you've hurt them, when you've done them wrong, and they can carry a grudge for a very long time. Why? Because they feel everything so deeply. And they love deeply, and they can hate deeply. There are 3 symbols for a Scorpio. Most have only 1. Most signs only have 1 symbol. Scorpio has 3 because of the power and intensity of the sign. There are real levels of manifestation in Scorpio's character. Those 3 symbols are interesting. They're scorpion, hence Scorpio. And then there's the phoenix. And then there's the eagle. And these are literally hierarchical. Scorpio, scorpions being at the lowest rung of that hierarchy. The phoenix being sort of emblematic of a talent for rejuvenation, recovery from crisis, and some Scorpios are able to rise from the ashes of their pain and disappointment. And the final one is eagle. An eagle soars high. And it has double vision. That is, it can see accurately both what is near and what is far away. And so once a Scorpio has attained the level of the eagle, they become the seers. They become the sages of the zodiac, rising high above the masses, the ordinary. And so it depends on you, Scorpio, at which level you are manifesting in your life. So I'm going to put in 2 reversals, and only 2, so that if we get a reversal, we know that it is extremely pertinent to the message. And then I'm going to shuffle just a few more times, just to make sure that we've got a good mix. We put the cards down. And here is where I remind you to please learn to read for yourself. And you can do that by watching my videos if you like. And there are multitudes of books out there. I've been reading tarot for over 45 years, 10 years here on YouTube. And you cannot find a more valuable friend, ally, counselor than the tarot. So you take your left hand, you make 3 piles. And then you take the first pile, you put it onto the second, and then that on to the third. And you're ready to begin. We are ready to begin. The first card, again, representing the overall mood or energy of the month. Woo! Terrific. Look at that. Here, I hope you can see that. That is the 10 of Pentacles. Here we have a multi-generational sharing of wealth. The joining with a family that involves all the generations in order to achieve material security and well-being. So many of you will be experiencing some inheritance, inheriting either property, money per se, or the help and contribution from your family in order to create a stable and secure material world for yourself. Now, remember, we've got Venus in the 8th house of shared resources, as well as death and taxes. Taxes means anything to do with your contribution to society monetarily, or the contribution of society towards you in the form of an investment that pays off. So, family harmony, family cooperation, group. Again, we've got Mars in the 11th house of groups, friendships, community, all coming together to unite towards the aim of material security and well-being. Beautiful, absolutely beautiful. Wealth, that's the name of the card, wealth. So you may experience an uptick in wealth, however that comes to you, whether it be inheritance or just the cooperation of a community, a group, or a family. That is how we begin. How incredibly fortuitous this is. Oh, interesting. So we have a major arcana card in the position of what will challenge you. And here it is. See that? The Hangman. The Hangman. What's your challenge? Well, look at him. He, obviously, this is a reference to Christ because there's a cross. Hanging on a cross. You have to sacrifice something in order to achieve enlightenment. See the halo around his head? That's the halo of enlightenment, where you become spiritually attuned to the universe, to your internal connection to God, and all that is. And it involves a sacrifice of some sort, a giving up of something in order to achieve something else. And the Hangman is also where you take a completely different perspective on things, sort of turn things upside down, because you may have had one view of your situation, of what's necessary, of how to solve whatever problem you may be facing. And your challenge is now to flip that and to turn it around and to see it from a completely new angle, a completely new perspective. So, involving, again, either groups, inheritance, family situation, friendships, partnerships, sexuality. You've got to take a very alternative point of view. Flip it on its head. See it like you hadn't seen it before. And you will be surprised at the rewards of that. The rewards of that will be complete cooperation within a group, a family, and the achievement of material security. All right. Moving on to the position of the unexpected, the surprise element of the month for us, Scorpio. Whoa! Well, yay for this. We had the 10 of Pentacles as the overall influence of the month, wealth, hierarchical cooperation within a family. And now we have the 9 of Pentacles. Here, if we look closely, we see a very aristocratic woman in her garden of earthly delights. She is enjoying the fruits of her labor. It's 9, so there's been a lot of work done in order to arrive at this level of material security and well-being. She takes pride and joy in what she owns, what she's accomplished, and who she is. You can see that she's well-dressed. She spends money to beautify herself and her surroundings. She loves life and is taking time off to enjoy life, to, for some, to count her shekels, to just appreciate herself and the execution of her plans, the successful execution of her plans. So, wow. All right, so we've got 2 wealth cards. That'll be good news for some of us, particularly me. There's enormous output of money just to arrive at my destination here. Very simple and beautiful life I live out here, but still costly. Costs a lot of money to live in Hawaii, no matter where you live. So this is good news for me, believe me. Oh my God. Wow. Here we go. What is the outcome? We have new love, the Ace of Cups. Cups are representative of feelings, emotions. And again, we've got Venus in the 8th house of partnerships, relationships, shared resources. And we have now perhaps a new opportunity to deepen your connections with family, friends, or your partner. This may be a new partnership, a new love opportunity. It could be pregnancy. It could be a birth of a baby. Love pours into your heart. It pours as you can see the water pouring off the edges of the cup, pouring into every facet of your life. This is the reward for your challenge, which is patience, devotion, and being able to see where you were wrong and to flip and turn, change your mind, change your heart. This is also the ability to sacrifice something. And in that sacrifice, what do you gain? You gain beauty, love, harmony, and the blessings of life. That is your forecast for July. What a beautiful month coming up for us, Scorpio. Thank you very much for joining me, for liking, sharing, and subscribing. It's important to me because I lost so many viewers having lived through this crisis for the last few months, trying to resurrect my life here in Hawaii, going through the shocks of being homeless and finding my particular paradise. So I appreciate your support and your loving care, kindness, and messages. And one of the ways you can support this channel and my mission to show you that no matter how old you are, you can attain levels of health and well-being that will match those in your 20s and 30s. Absolute. I am living proof of that. And if you follow my yoga sessions, participate in them, you too can arrive at levels of well-being that you may never have thought you could. I also provide private personal readings, private and personal readings if you need more insight into issues in your life there's a wide variety of readings that you can find on my YouTube channel, on my internet site called grandcentralhealing.com. They're all listed in the shop. So please go there and help if you can by purchasing a reading that's suited to you. And usually I can get them to you within a day or two, and I'll tell you when you can expect them, your reading. I also give you the option of talking to me on the phone after you receive your reading if you have questions about them. So have a look through the reading options. And with all that said, now I'm going to show you a yoga pose that will correlate with the energy of these last two readings. Thank you very much. See you next month. Enjoy July. I know I will. Namaste. Welcome, Scorpio, to your pose of the month of July. And your reading was very interesting, of course, because I have Scorpio rising, so I pay attention. It's about power. Sometimes sexual power, sometimes just Kundalini power, the power of life that needs to be encouraged. We have the 8th house ruled by your sign, Scorpio, being occupied by the goddess of love. So she brings her emotional passion to an area of fire and kinetic power. So what I'd like to do is to encourage this energy. So we step out and we build a mountain with the body, pressing the feet flat, make sure that they're parallel, and I want you to feel the energy of the earth now, palpably, moving up through you. It's an upward motion. The feel is of motion, energy moving up through you. Let it spiral up through your spine. Bend the knees a little and sit down. Relax your arms. Shoulders back. Open the chest and sit down. Soften your breathing and then breathe deeply through the nose. Sit down. Adjust the feet, walk them out a little bit, and sit a little further down. Shoulders back, arms relaxed. Inhale, bring the arms up. Shoulder level, palms face forward, thumbs to you. Pull the energy out from the fingertips. Sit down. We breathe slow and deep. We pull out. Bring the arms back. Look up. Deep breath. Exhale. We sit down and we lift the hips up. We take flight. Feet flat. Hold and breathe. Look down. Pull the energy out from the arms. Feet flat. As if you're flying like a bird, free. We pull out. Press into the feet. Adjust. Breathing abdominal. We tighten the kneecaps, we fold down. Bring your wings down. Clasp the hands around the ankles, then the elbows, and use your arms to lever the torso down, folding down from the hips. We then pull the crown of the head down into the earth. We flatten the feet. We pull the chest down. We hold and breathe. Relax the shoulders, bend the knees, release the ankles. Gently, we fly up. Turning the palms forward, facing the feet forward. We look up. And we pull back. Exhale, we bring the arms forward. We sit down in prayer. Hold on. There we go. We sit, pressing into the hands. We sigh and we release. Feel the energy running up through you, from your feet, through the legs, spiraling up your spine. We sit down and we breathe. Feeling the energy moving up through you. We straighten the arms upwards, straighten the knees, lift up, pull up, elbows in, press into the hands. We hold, we lift. Press into the hands and lower them gently to your chest. We bring the heels in, then the toes. Heels, toes, heels, toes, until the feet arrive directly underneath your hip sockets. You tighten the buttocks, shoulders down, deep breath. We bow, and we say namaste. Thank you for joining me. Use that to lift the energy of the earth and let it help you create the power, the abundance that you need to navigate through this very extraordinarily intense month. Thank you very much for coming to the reading and for coming to the pose. I'd like you to wait now for the yoga Mudra. Thank you and namaste. Welcome, Scorpio, to your Yoga Mudra for July. There's a lot of abundance that's going to come to you. And to be open to that, you need an open heart and an open mind. So we start by opening our hands to receive the abundance. And I'm going to show you a very simple mudra called handful of flowers. So we envision our hands with flowers in them. We cup them slightly, thumbs in, and we lay the arms down. Close your eyes and imagine flowers emerging from your hands. Feel their fragrance. This is the fragrance of the divine. So we wait for the flowers to bloom in our hands. Now with our hands filled with beautiful flowers of every color, with the scent of the divine, we bring them into our heart. We take a deep breath. Exhale, we pray, we bow, and say namaste. Use that mudra in your meditations for any length of time, with any kind of frequency that your life permits, and you will feel the abundance, the garden of possibilities opening up for you. Namaste. See you next month.